Everyone. Welcome back to Worldbuilders Studio. I have a new guest with me. Ta-da! He didn't know he was supposed to be here. Do you see the shock on his face? I know. No.
Just out of the shower.
We totally had this planned. Apologies for the channel being quiet. We're in the middle of charity game prep and just life happening. But we're back with a nice chill stream. So, if you've never seen one of our Worldbuilder Studios, wow, I need to not talk and think at the same time.
Do not use this as your example if you have not.
Don't do that. No.
Oh, you.
Holy moly, that was bad. I just slurred like I'd had 4 glasses of wine in a row. It was only 2. So what we do on here is we talk to storytellers, writers, artists to talk about where their ideas come from. And then the conversation usually spends about 5 minutes there, and then it starts veering off in a random direction.
I'm expecting a solid just beeline.
Yeah. With a mighty explosion at the end. That is my entire goal. Go out with
the fireworks down there. We're gonna.
Yeah, we got it. We can do this. I know we can. So, I am not going to bother introducing myself. My guest is the feature, always the feature here. And today I have good buddy Bran with me. So, Bran, who are you and what do you do? And then we'll go from there.
Who am I and what do I do? My God, that's a loaded question, and I could take half an hour just trying to explain that. Let's start simple. I am the GM of Emerald Endings, a delightful Pathfinder show that just happens to be on Terrible Party's channel. And might I say, what an exquisite place to be. When I'm not doing that, I am making candles, so many candles for Spirit of the Wilds. When I'm not doing that, I am roaming the woods like a madman, trying to find friendly critters to play with. And we could really just keep this list going, but I think we should just start.
I have seen pictures of his squirrels.
Oh, they're so great.
You have great squirrels. They're literally, yeah, he has squirrels. It's cool.
Well, see, I'm thinking this is like a druid leveling up thing. Like early on, I was like, I was this spider speaker. Like spiders were just like groovy with me. I could, with them. So I became with friends spiders. I got a bit better. And now all the sparrows are my friends. And okay, I'm leveling up further. And now we're at squirrels. So
so what's the next one after that?
I don't know yet. I'm excited to find out.
Corvids?
We have a couple that live nearby, and I just want to be their friend so bad.
Yeah. Come, I have shiny things, please.
I have shiny things. I have food. It is a beautiful setup here, guys. Come on.
I have all the things you could ever want. Corvids are cool, though.
Oh, I would love to have that connection with one. They're just beautiful and just brilliant.
They're so smart. There's that book from the Raven Keeper of the Tower of England. It's so cool. Oh my, I was like, dude, you have the best job in the world.
I know. Isn't that great? We're actually gonna, at some point, we'll explain my name into a little bit more depth that connects to that.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, candlemancer, story maker, storyteller. Let's start with I'm going to go backwards on this, I think.
Let's do it.
Because that's interesting. And also because one of the newer ventures for you is the Pathfinder game that you had mentioned on the channel. And you and I talked a little bit about that, but no one else was privy to that conversation. So I thought it would be good to kind of start there with the newest venture. What made you want to run and write Pathfinder?
I don't want to say I'm tired of 5th edition, but I'm very comfortable with 5th edition. Almost every time either with groups online or, groups in real life, it's almost always been 5th edition is where it lands. Like I go, hey, I want to try this game, this. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, we want to play 5th edition. Oh,
oh no, did I lose him?
of D&D all throughout Pathfinder. And
I think you're there. There we go. No, we're good.
All right.
Just a weird delay. You're fine.
So it was a nice change of seasoning for the storytelling.
Okay. I know a lot of people find the transition, especially between the new version of Pathfinder and 5th edition of D&D, to be easier. There's enough similarities there. It's not totally hard to grasp.
No.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a bit of a jar to the senses when you look at the numbers for Pathfinder. Because like, oh, my level 1 goblin barbarian rolled a 27 on charisma. I go, oh, what? And I go, oh wait, no, it's Pathfinder, so we add this. Okay,
right,
no, that's
right. So where does and obviously you're only what, 6 games into?
We're 6 games in.
6 games in. Okay. Hey, I remembered something. Look at that. When you were putting the story together, I know that you and I talked a little bit about just on Discord how you always have bits and bobs of stories rattling around. What was it about this particular story and this forest that made you want to pluck that thread out and go, I'm going to weave the tapestry out of this?
I liked the idea of basically being the tempter for the party. I liked the idea of, going, hey, if you do this, you're max level almost right off the bat. You're going to have, supreme power. You're going to be so overpowered if you do this. So I'm currently, testing their merit to see if they will just, give in.
Yeah. There's something very I don't know, you'll understand this when I say this. There's something almost classic fantasy about it, and at the same time has that almost newer RPG kind of hook to it. The reason I'm saying that is I don't know where I was back in 2012, but for some reason I missed Kingdoms of Amalur, the video game, and now it's been remastered, and I've been playing through that like a mad person because I was just like, what is this thing? And there's that story of Emerald Endings feels like it could be pulled from any of those like classic RPG video games, from some of the classic books, because there's something about that hero's journey, even though you're accelerating it. There's something very Joseph Campbell-esque about it that is that just makes people want to grab onto it.
I hope so. I hope that's what we're taking away forward. I have been so blessed with that crew.
Oh my gosh.
They have been amazing. And it's no longer me interested in what story I intended. I just want to see what those characters, what they're going to do. Like, that is just my sole focus now. And I love seeing it. I love seeing how they're going to react to something, how they're going to make their decisions, what they're going to do to impact the world. And I think that is just, the proudest place a GM can be in.
They're so quick.
They're so good, and they work so well off of each other. I am just blown away.
Yep. And if Kiwi doesn't eat or yeet it, I will be very upset if she doesn't stick to one of those two things.
So I'm excited, and I don't think it's spoilers, maybe spoilers. We are going to be going Kiwi focus on this next endeavor. I know. I'm so excited to see Kiwi shine.
So good. Oh my gosh. Highly encourage y'all to watch. All the episodes are up on Twitch and YouTube. They're really great. And we've only had minimal tech issues.
At the end of the day.
Hey, yeah. So have those kinds of... Is Emerald Endings the newest iteration or newest form of the types of stories that you like to tell, or is there a commonality?
I'm trying to figure that out, because I'll be the first to admit I am horrible, absolutely horrible at sticking to one story.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you know, you can ask any of the players of my, you know, in my past that know me, like we'll go like, you know, 5-6 games strong, and there's that little twinge in the back of my head that goes, ooh, let's tell a modern story about werewolves instead. Or, you know, giant mechs, but they have to control it together and work together. And that's really where, let's go for the end. Like my brain just goes, oh, I need to tell that story instead. And it's so difficult for me to just focus on one tale at a time. So I mean, as far as you know, in that world of, you know, just the high magic, the fantasy, and the rich, I really do like having that essence of fairy tale in it. I'm just a sucker for the old stories and the old lore and all those things, and I try to, not super obviously, but I try to just get tiny little threads from all these old legends and just, you know, tie them into any story that I'm right. Like, it's one of those things where if you know the stories, you'll recognize it, and if you're not familiar with it, it blows past with no problem storytelling whatsoever. That's my ideal concept of it.
Has that always been an interest? The fairy tales, the lore?
Not since I was a little one. I'd say in my early teens, I really delved deep into, you know, the folklore of everywhere I could find. I would just devour it if it was, you know, Native American, Celtic, the Norse, the Viking folk, the Germanic, like any of those. I would just, you know, just devoured it.
Yeah, because you've had a history with some of the darker games that exist, like World of Darkness, and because we've talked about Werewolf a little bit. And is that just teenage emo Bran, or did that come from somewhere else?
No, I was a rather happy-ish teen. I mean, I was the rock and roll guy. I was, you know, obviously still super long hair, tie dye, you know. I was, you know, we would, you know, play with the band. We would do, you know, concerts or shows, and let's not overstate. We would play, like our band, we'd, you know, play at some bar and, you know, leave at 2 a.m. Then I was going to high school, you know, and you know, 4 hours I have to wake up. But we lived in a super tiny little podunk town. And it was just as weird, like you were the, you know, rock and roll guy, or the, you know.
Right.
So it was never like the angst. It was always, you know, more of an interest, you know. I think we stated I started with World of Darkness, Vampire the Masquerade. Like that was the first real tabletop I got to play. And I always liked the idea of that hidden world just behind the veil of the everyday. I thought, what a wonderful way to be introduced into this concept of, you know, it's, you know, you can, you know, when you walk out of the coffee shop at 4 a.m. after you finish playing Vampire, and there's that odd guy, you know, across the street, just under the, you know, the street lamp, just kind of seemingly like he's staring at you. Why is he staring at? There must be something odd about this one. He could be a vampire. Make my way to the car a little quicker. Let's not stop the pace. Where'd he go? And I loved, you know, just bringing that bit of a twinge into a world you could relate to.
Yeah. There's something very it's like what writers like Neil Gaiman do so well. You know, hidden worlds behind the London subway and all of these types of things.
Neverwhere.
Yep.
Amazing.
It taps into something intrinsic in human history that we're always looking for, just that little extra bit beyond what we can see with our own 2 eyes.
I think one of our problems is, you know, once we became, you know, urbanized, we lost a lot of our fears that used to be out in the woods.
Yeah.
You know, there was that question of what's out there. Well, there's, you know, there's unknown things, there's monsters, there's wild beasts, there's those things out there, and we lost that once we, you know, became cities.
Right.
but to bring just that taste of it back for just a moment, you can go, there's still something mysterious, and it's near me, and I can't figure it out, but I'm not safe. But it's everything.
Yep. That's why Ocean at the End of the Lane is so good.
Oh, it's so good. If anyone watching, I don't generally talk to the crowd. If anyone watching has not read any Neil Gaiman, just please, anything you can find. Ocean at the End of the Lane's incredible. Neverwhere, American Gods. I know that was, a TV series that I won't talk about because I didn't care for the TV series so much, but the book was absolutely incredible. Even just go watch a TV series, I don't care. But amazing author.
His short stories
and fantastic
scared the snot out of me.
What do you know off the bat? Which one?
Oh my gosh, there was one. It's been so long. I need to go back. There was one about a mirror. Damn it. I remember.
I started with his short stories. It was Smoke and Mirrors, I think, was
that one's a good
book.
one.
And that first introduction when he's telling that story that he wrote for his friends who just got married about the cat guardian. That just hooked me. I thought, we're gonna get along just fine, Neil.
Velvet's in chat. What's up? Hello. Coraline's freaking creepy as heck.
But that is that so wonderful balance. That's that wonderful balance of child and terror.
Yep.
That we see so rarely now in media.
Yeah.
I think it was during the 80s, they're like, it's PG-13 now. The kids are fine. They can handle.
Right. Yeah. It's all right. It's only a few curse words and a spooky. It's fine. They're fine. They're fine.
It's a boob and a machete attack. They're kids. They're fine. And,
Oh my goodness. See, I told you it takes about 5 minutes, and then it kind of veers off into.
We are long gone past any.
Who cares? This is the fun part.
Exactly.
That's what I said. Nate and I talked about necromancers for 90 minutes.
No, we can double up on the necromancy chat. So.
I'm very curious. Is there a system that if you had to only play that for the rest of your time on Earth, which one would you pick?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean,
it's a very telling question.
It is. I've so related the system to how I tell a story, even though they're probably honestly not that connected.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of games. I mean, off the bat, I'm saying 5th edition because it's so simplified and so many people know how to play it. Like I feel 5th edition is almost becoming our GURPS.
Oh, yeah.
Where we can say, well, we're playing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but we're using 5th edition. And everyone goes, okay, yeah, I understand the game now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that just out of widespread acceptance. Like I feel like almost anyone I say, hey, you want to play a game? They say, how do I do it? And I go 5th edition. They go, oh yes, of course.
Right. And easy enough to teach.
It has been, incredibly easy to teach. Yeah. It has been the lifesaver of so many newbies that have just come into the fold.
It's true. Yeah. And for the better. I mean, really,
Oh, absolutely.
The wider the community, the more diverse the community, the more ideas that are out there that aren't grossly racist or misogynistic.
And at the end of the day, that's generally all I'm asking for.
See, there we go. Yeah, I'm always curious when I ask that because there are so many amazing systems out there. But a lot of them not a lot of them. This is a hard thing for me to spit out. Let me see if I can try to do this. Yeah. It is a lot of them. Okay, Vampire is a very good example.
Mm.
You know what you're getting, kind of, when you play a vampire game. you have a decent idea of what to expect. Werewolf, I feel like, is very similar in that vein.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's not a game for everyone. Not everyone wants to delve into vampires or werewolves. Not everyone wants to go dark. Like, D&D has that adaptability. But some of the smaller games, the quieter games, some of the indie pubs, I'm hoping those start to kind of push their way up because of how adaptable they can be.
I mean, I don't generally believe the statement, but the rising tide lifts all boats.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in this case that, you know, with the D&D's explosion in popularity over the last couple of years, right. There are going to be those people that go, hey, I really enjoy this, but what else you got?
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely going to help out the smaller and independent publishers and creators.
Yeah, I hope so. That's
on a side note, for a system I really like and have not gotten to play with nearly enough, and we discussed your lack of interest in Star Wars, and I'm fine with that. We can still be friends. But they had a tabletop called Edge of the Empire.
Oh.
And they do not use traditional dice.
Okay.
The dice are, you know, odd little symbols on it, but it's, you know, like success, failure, and then there's like an advantage, disadvantage.
Oh.
Like, that's it. There's no numbers involved.
Okay.
It's based upon successes or failures plus bonuses or negatives. So you can succeed and have horrible things happen if you had a bunch of failure, negatives against it, and vice versa. You can fail on something, but all of the bonuses could stack and make it something wonderful. And I think that is probably the hardest thing for a DM to possibly attempt.
Yeah.
To look at every single option of go, okay, well, you know, they tried to hack the door open, but it failed. What happens because they got so many, but it's good.
Okay.
You know, points. And I think it's, you know,
interesting.
Really keep a storyteller on their toes of trying to figure out every possible angle of a success or a failure.
Yeah. Oh, I dig that. Yeah, Velvet just said that you get some wacky rolls. Yeah.
It would have to be.
Wow.
It would have to be. I know. I have not got to play that system, but I have read through that book countless times. And that's one of those that is definitely on my back burner. Like someday.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
I think that would be such a test.
Yeah.
For the storyteller.
Yeah, that's like player and DM level, especially DM level. That's like a 501 class, right? That's like
right.
You've done all of the common systems. You've delved into some interesting ones, and now here's this one where the dice are gonna make you just lose your mind, but it's gonna be really interesting.
Working at triple time, and I think that's such a great test.
Have you ever, I'm sure you have, the exploding die systems are also really interesting because it's like, oh, that was a great roll. Oh, that one exploded. Okay, let me do that again. Oh, again. Oh, okay. So we went from maiming someone to obliterating them, or whatever it is that you're doing.
It's usually one of those. Not only did you dodge the attack, you pirouetted away. While, you know, it's just this.
You look like a ninja.
It's this neat, you know, moment of pure excellence from the player.
And it's like the granny lifting the car. Yeah.
It is. It's like you couldn't open a door on this last run, but this time the
adrenaline was just right. The moment was just right. Then you have to go take a nap. Yeah, that should be the penalty. Like, you explode your die so many times, and then you need to go take a long rest. I'm just gonna prop myself up in the corner.
I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We were doing Deadlands.
Oh,
that was the first game I ran.
What?
It was a Deadlands game. Yes.
Oh my god.
Weird West. Oh, it was so much fun.
Deadlands. I was gonna ask about Deadlands specifically because we only went through 2 games. We did a real short adventure, but Chris from my original group ran that, and we had a freaking blast with that system.
There's so much fun. to be had with that game.
Gosh,
That
play
is
that game.
such a unique setting, such a gritty, dark, but still, got that yeehaw kick to it.
That one's fun. I enjoy that. Gosh, all the systems, all the games, never enough time. When I want to go a little bit back to the storytelling aspect of it. When you're with Emerald Endings, for example, when you're running this, how much of a pantser are you? How much do you write out or plan out? We know how planning works with players, as in it never does. But how much do you rely on your skill as an improv storyteller versus do you just outline beats, or how does that process look for you?
So my biggest detriment as a DM GM storyteller is I do not write out a thing.
Oh my god.
I don't. I know it's a curse. It is. I am regretful of it all the time. Even things flow, but I don't write. I don't. It's all here. Mm-hmm. Like I got like that 98% accuracy rate of what they're going to do.
Okay.
It's like very rarely does the characters go, oh, I was not prepared for this. And like, so that by that I mean just physically written out. I won't write it down. Now I'm thinking about the story the entire week. The moment we sign off and all right, I'll see you guys next week, have a great day. The moment I'm off there, I'm creating what's going to happen. I'm building it up in my head. So I don't know. It's hard to dictate exactly, put a numeric value on something that is nonstop in the back of my head. Because whether I'm at work or I'm driving, there's still that part of me that's continuously trying to just shape and build and craft what's going to happen next.
Does it ever wake you up in the middle of the night?
No, it doesn't. But there are plenty of things I will take from dreams.
Okay.
That will come into games. There's a lot. There's so much that they're just little key odd things that I will like always dream about. Mm-hmm. That I go, well, that will be in the game, and no one will know, but it'll be a bit weird and a bit interesting, and that'll be that.
I love when GMs talk about never really physically writing things out. You are not the first person to tell me this, and you are the antithesis of what I am. So learning from people like you, Nate is another one. I think that's why you and Nate get along so well when you're playing. Is it's just like you're just like, yeah, all in. Let's just go. We're just going. We're no plans. Yeah, no rules. Just right. Outback Steakhouse. No, you're just running. You're doing the thing. Whereas I'm much better about it now. But when I was new, I was planning way too much because I hadn't learned that balance yet. But I like to learn from people who run games differently than I do. So this is why I always ask this question, because I'm always like, I can walk away with a new lesson I've learned.
Like I do not take it as like a positive, like I don't need to prepare. No.
You're always preparing though.
I guess, but I admire those people that, like when we were watching James put together his Kids on Bikes, just the tomes of, established, written, completed, like I was just staring at it, like, my God, that's incredible. I admire that so much.
But he's a writer.
I know he is.
But that's his stock and trade. That's where that's where it comes from.
I get it. I just wish I had that. I wish I had that skill and that gift or that I don't know what I'm missing, but I don't have that. And
you tell it in your own way. Yeah, it's all, and well, and then part of it is I feel like, now granted, I'm biased, but I feel like when I'm watching Emerald Endings, I can't that's why I'm asking, like, I can't tell. I can never tell most of the time with GMs unless there's a hard stumble or anything like, but even the stumbles come honestly a lot of the time.
Is that when my eyes just go blank and I'm just staring at the camera for
No. I've seen that look on other people's faces though. Where they're, but it's thinking, it's like, oh shit, they just did a thing where I was like not ready for that. We've all done that face. I find it so interesting because it's also it is a story crafting question. I have known published authors who are pantsers and don't really plan anything. They just kind of start writing. I'm like, how the frig do you do that? Oh my god. And then I know people who have hardcore outlines.
I wish I could hardcore outline. I really wish I could. My storytelling, like, I do not see the grand, arc of the tale. I don't see well, they'll start from here and by the end they'll be like, that is not going on in there. It's these key moments and strong emotions, just that I can just I know that they'll follow this angle and they'll probably do this, and it'll probably bring up this this moment, this scene, this emotion within the party. Like, that's how I build it. It's these little series of impacts. I do not have the don't let my players watch this. I do not have
go away.
I do not have the scale of where this is going to end. It's never in my mind. Like, I know at some point this will have to come to a conclusion.
Sure.
But it's never what I'm thinking about. It's never how to get them to this final setting. It's how to get them to experience these key points and emotions and drops and that.
Okay. Are those key points typically built around a reckoning or an emotion that you're trying to evoke, or is it a combination of elements?
It is emotion. Like, there's nothing like having the jaw drop from your table. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like having them go and just stare at you. And you don't want everything to always be the
sure.
The hard impact, but there is something about having a group of people all feeling the same emotion at the same time, whether it's joy or sadness or shock or any of that. So there are, in that sense of, okay, well, when they get here, when they get to this place, when they interact with this person, the emotion that I'm attempting to build will be this. Mm-hmm. And now, how do we get to that? Well, we shave here, we think here, we plan there. There'll be this little saying here, there'll be this little message here. It's it's leaving the breadcrumb trail without forcing anything. And I would never, I don't think I do. I would never attempt to just train a party into a place. I never want to do that. I want everything to be their decision. Mm-hmm. I just want it to be slightly, just that worm tongue. Well, you should probably do that.
Little hints, little.
Right here, there's.
Yeah, it's your open world versus your.
Yeah, I would never want to do, just that direct storytelling, because ideally, that's just me writing a story, and.
Right. And you could do that on your own.
I'm just expecting a bunch of people to now listen to me, and it's not.
Right.
That's not what it's about.
You ever read that some of the Reddit forums on players talking about that exact thing? I have read so many posts about that where they're like, the GM is just like, they're writing the story and we're just kind of there, and I'm like, oh.
I haven't read the Reddit forums on there, but I remember years back I just got in the most heated conversation with someone. We were at a Renaissance festival, and it was like the late night, overnight, thing, and everyone's just going in, and he was just saying how it's the players should follow everything the DM sets up for them, and they have to follow this path. And it was just so furious that someone would think they could do that at a table. And I'm not gonna say I was belligerently drunk.
Little heated, little hot under the collar.
It got a little salty.
Got a little salty.
But no, I would never want to take that kind of freedom away from a player. That's nothing but self-gratification for the DM and the storyteller. It's like, by that, just write your bloody story.
Yeah, just
write a book. Write a book.
Yep.
That's not.
They're different. Yeah. Yeah. James and I had very similar conversation about that, and how his stories vary from what he puts down in a book versus learning to run games the way that he and the players want to experience them together, which I thought was such a nice way of. And
might I add how impressed I am with James.
Yay, James! I hope your ears are burning.
They better be.
He's asleep right now.
Oh, yes. Time differences.
But no,
it's been so great just watching him just, get that spark.
Aww.
And,
that's awesome.
Just, fully embrace and just move into it and, be the storyteller.
It's so fun to watch that happen. There's just something about seeing, new GMs or storytellers or whatever word you want to use there kind of come into their own and get to share a creation and then watch their players both react and then express themselves in that world. It's just so cool.
Oh, yeah. That's, just the best. That's what I love about this community.
There's nothing quite like it, yeah. Because there's no... It's only a very limited amount of passivity that happens, and it's only as much as I feel like as you want to happen as a player or a GM. There are moments where you get to sit back and just watch the players go, but you're not being passive in the moment. You know you're going to have a reaction.
No, that's when you're riding the high of the wave.
Yes.
That is if done correctly.
Yeah.
It's not your players just, sitting in a room wondering what to do. It's when they have just taken fully that character and they're just interacting with each other and that world, and that is just I feel the pinnacle of the DM where you just sit back and watch them go.
And let them kind of wear the hat.
You've seen that look on Matt Mercer's face.
Oh yeah.
When the party is just, completely interacting on their own and, building that story amongst each other. And that is just, that pinnacle point.
They almost forget he's there, which is impressive.
Which is that's exactly what you want.
Yep. Yeah. It's cool as heck. Oh my gosh. Or watching my Curse of Strahd players playing on how they're going to blow up the Abbey.
Yes. I have very much enjoyed watching.
So stupid. I'm just like, yes, please do this.
Please,
please blow the Abbey up because I want to see this happen. I don't know. It's great.
I feel Curse of Strahd has been one of the best modules, campaigns for D&D, for actually getting a good read of who's at your table.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like when they feel like they've got a grasp on the world that they're now in, and it's just condensed and small, and I think that's really where the player comes out. And it's just
that's a good point.
They're either super cautious, like, no, we can do this, or everyone's like, nah, we're burning it all to the ground.
Burning it all.
I may not be leaving Barovia, but they're gonna know I was here.
I feel like the latter is my group. It's all going on. It's all getting lit on fire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had a good mix of of the people being very safe and the people being very bravado, and then my Strahd pushed a little too far.
Uh-oh.
Just took a little too much, and then it just turned like, no, it's over.
Yeah, he's going down.
Salt the earth. And
yeah, it's such a good villain, though. I mean,
it's great. The one thing I really added into our campaign, and I don't know if you want your group hearing this. No.
I know, you're fine. I don't run hardly anything by book, so you're good.
Okay. The one thing we really took for it was there was more of an angle of the party just kind of raising up and uniting the people of Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
And just building their own army. Like they would go to this, this town here, and they would solve these problems and rally the people.
Yep.
So by the end, it was this big clash between, the common people of Barovia and the army of the undead, while the group, made their way into a Ravenloft.
Oh,
and it was just,
good.
made for just a perfect scene. It was just this big
Revolution!
clash of army. Exactly.
I love that. They have definitely, mine have struck a different path. And I think part of that is because the one character is part vampire. So he's busy, like, trying to dig out his family history, and the rest of them are like, wait, you're a what now? And that has led into some tense conversations between party members.
Rightfully so.
What do you mean your mom's in his castle? What's going on here? It's the opposite, Princess Peach situation. The princess isn't in a different castle. She's in the castle, but she might also be a baddie.
Well, to be fair, there aren't a whole lot of castles in Barovia, so it's probably the...
And one less windmill, so...
How did that go for you? I actually haven't got to catch that one.
They burned it down.
I want to say ours did the same.
Yeah.
I want to say, I know they laid a bunch of traps and just, like ding dong ditch the old lady. Hello, and then this attack, and then this teleport here, and this drop here, and this rock fell, and they set
perfect.
up, just the Home Alone
Rube Goldberg machine of traps.
They knew instantly once she was in the town selling dream pies that she's evil and we're gonna take her down. And
that one is that's the part that I actually it's obviously it's not going to happen now, so I can say this, but I didn't do that with her. The mother Morgantha acted very I'm just a helpless little old lady, and then they went in. She sold them the story of, my daughters have trapped me here, and they were like, your daughters are evil. What are they doing? What are they doing? Eating kids? And they were like, we're gonna rescue you. So they bundle her out of the windmill, proceed to burn it down, and then they find out later, oh shit.
No, ours, my players, like, off the bat, they just go, I don't trust that old lady. Pies at this hour? No.
Who would dare?
And they just got the biggest thrill of this little old going, oh, fuck, and trying to duck out away from this party of adventurers.
Oh, that's good. Oh my gosh. It's such a good module, and I think that
It is. I think that is one of the finest that they've put together.
And you can definitely, there have been some really, really good rewrites.
I'm curious about the re-release that happened.
I guess they did some things right, and then also didn't get rid of some of the revamp. Also didn't get rid of some of the really bad stereotyping.
Wasn't that the whole point of it?
Yeah, you'd think.
I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that was the reason that they.
No, they half-assed it, and then slapped $100 price on it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Can we not?"
Oh, wizards.
Oh, wizards! You're so polarizing. Blech. Can't talk. Anyways. Since we were talking about Strahd.
We were talking about story writing at some point.
Well, we were. Well, we'll get back to that because I want to ask about villains.
Okay.
What makes a good villain in your mind?
Oh, I think there are really two angles you can go with the villain. One, you have to have them relate to a degree. You have to understand why they're doing what they're doing. That, you know, their actions may be against you, but from a different perspective, they are perfectly heroic and honorable and reasonable.
Okay.
I think there's that one. That our Magneto is always the example you go to, because he's perfect for that relatable villain.
Yeah.
The other one is the one that you absolutely just detest. That one that you just love to hate. That, you know, and that's how I did my Strahd. He was just, you know, a constant thorn in the side. It was, you know, this they were so sick, and the moment that they could just land a hit on him was the greatest day of their. So I'll do between the two.
Okay.
Generally, I'm going to go for one you can relate to, because that always makes it just a little bit harder.
Yeah.
For the party, where you just go, I know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it. And if I was in that spot, I'd probably be doing the same. But we have to stop them. Oh, but I get it. Like, that is, you know, in one of those sweet spots.
Yeah.
You can get it for a storyteller.
Does the noble cause that got twisted by like obsession, does that also kind of fall into that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't recall who was the genius who said it, but no villain ever sees himself as the villain.
As the villain, right? They're the hero in their own story.
They're the hero in their own story. Yeah.
They're those types are so much fun to play too. Or maybe that's my demented half coming out. No. I find them so interesting because they're morally complex.
Yes, and I think that's going to be for your richer storytelling, the games where you walk away and you really have to think and ponder and you know, question of, you know, in just a slightly different circumstance, I would have been
right,
you know, with him or them, or, you know,
right.
And if you don't want that, you go for the just the absolute bastard who you just, you know,
right.
Just get your party just frothing at the mouth for the day that they can just take a swing on this person.
Yep. Oh, those are good. Those are fun too. I mean, they're,
you know, it's I think those are the two best flavors.
Yeah. There's also something very satisfying about getting to punch someone in the face who's just an absolute piece of crap.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's lived a long life. And,
so if those are the villains, then what about the heroes in the story? Because heroes in RPG storytelling and tabletop role-playing storytelling are as vast and wide and varied as a player's imagination can come up with. But for you, like, and I'm not looking for any solid example. I'm just looking for kind of amorphous concepts.
Example away.
No, I'm truly not, because I'm curious as to, for as a GM, what makes a hero memorable, or are they all memorable in their own way? Like, what is it about? Is it the way the player plays them? Is it the way they present them? Is it the way they act in the moment? Like, what is interesting to you as a GM?
Is it a cop-out if I say all of that?
No, not at all.
I don't know. I mean, as a GM, I don't get to generally make the hero.
Right.
Because I'm almost always the GM, so I never get to build the hero. I always get to just observe what others have built for their heroes. And I don't know if there's one solid answer for it. It's always incredible to see what someone can create with their hero. And, you know, I've seen heroes from just every build and stretch of the imagination. whether it's as simple as the son of the son of the son of a farmer, or the fallen royalty looking to redeem themselves, or some savage would-be monster taking a turn of heart and wanting to do the right thing, or it's really an amalgamation of everything stated. I just frankly love seeing it. I love seeing what a player can come up with. I think that's one of just the best parts of DMing, GMing, storytelling. Of when they got the tables set, okay, well, we're going to begin. Who are you? And they go, and drop that on the table, and I just go, oh yes, there are now at least 10 different things that are going to happen to this person. I want to see exactly how they're going to go through them.
Yeah. There's something so satisfying about even the player who maybe doesn't come out of the box or out of the gate with a fully fledged concept, watching that growth. And they get more invested, and
that's generally our newer players.
Totally.
The little reserved, a little quiet, the human fighter character. But there's nothing like seeing that one just explode after a couple games of just just becoming just the fully forged character that you didn't see coming right off the bat.
Right.
I always think I'm sorry, that I'll try to push that person just a little bit more. Like when we have that player that's just a little more reserved, a little quiet, and didn't give a whole lot of detail to their character, just give them just that little push, just that little gentle thing, and go, well, tell us more about your, and they go, okay, and they'll do that build.
If that person struggles with that level of engagement, like how would you approach that player and that story to kind of nudge them just a touch into exploring?
It's definitely about the gentle hand. You don't want to go, this is my first time gaming out. Okay, great. Well, this whole story revolves around you, so you better, no, you never do that. It's
right.
It's bringing up those gentle interactions, usually with an NPC, where it's not something that's detrimental to the entire story off the bat, but it's bringing just a little bit of the spotlight their direction. Just enough for them to feel that decision will make a greater impact.
Yeah.
That it's not everything is focused on you and this has to be the way, but through your decision, you set off this chain of events.
Okay. That's it. I always like to like have my GMs kind of give those little pearls of wisdom, because it is such a common thing to encounter, particularly with, as you had noted, newer players, that hesitancy. And it makes sense.
Of course it does. This is,
it's like new, open, varied, wild world, and you're like, huh? Well, what do I do?
Yeah, no, I would never, demand a lot out of a new one, but I will do everything I can to get them to, blossom.
That's such a nice way to put that. Gently, just kind of
exactly
grow.
They're my little garden. Let's make it creepy right there.
Nah. So what else do you want to talk about? Because I think at this point, like, I want to see what else popped up in your head when we were planning to do this. Like, is there anything that you really wanted to discuss as far as your stories go? Is there anything I haven't hit on? The floor is yours.
Oh my goodness, do not throw that on me. What did we just discuss? Discuss. Blossoming. No. I don't know. Like I said, I admire folks like James, and I'm gonna say you because I believe you do more planning than you would let believe. That I do not have that. Just I have just the lightest of framework, and then there's a part of me that thinks of every possible decision I think they'll make. So I don't know. I feel I'm one of the weirdest examples of storytellers you're gonna find.
Because you're pantsing it the whole time.
This pantsing term I have not heard till today.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's literally like that is actually a writing term. You'll hear authors talk about being. My friend Mindy is a pantser, and she wrote an Edgar Award-winning novel that way. She just kind of went with it, and I was like, the frig? How the frig do you do that? And she goes, about 3 weeks of nonstop writing, pizza, and about 10 pounds of weight gain, and then you go and beat up a punching bag for 3 more weeks, and then you repeat.
Let me just write this down real quick.
She's an extreme example of what I would, but it's such an interesting way to. I used to run writing workshops and would bring authors in to. I was a teen librarian at the time, and these kids want to know all about how you write, and so I've got all these little budding writers, and I would bring the local authors in, and they would talk to the kids, and that conversation always came up. How do I write a book? It's like, well, do you think in bullet points? Do you just kind of wing it? Are you a mix of a bunch of things? And then you kind of start to learn more about the actual how their creative process works. And it's not a far leap to go from that to, talking about how GMs put their stories together. I'm always, like I said, I'm always fascinated by it because you claim you don't, write anything down, but you're always planning. Nate claims he does the same thing. I'm like, I don't remember my own name half the time. That's why I write everything down.
Like I said, I wish I was in that habit and in that fashion. I feel it would do so much help for me if I did. But I've come from a tradition of, I know we'll eventually go more into this in a future project that you are working on.
Hey.
Ooh, no spoilers. That it was always just oral tradition with your stories. That it's you don't write it down. You know it or you don't.
Right.
And you better know it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So every story was just supposed to be stored in here, and just at the hopper to go, okay, well, we're around a campfire. This person told their tale. This person told theirs. It's your turn. Bring up this story, but not like you heard it. You bring it up and you make it your own, and you put your polish on it. It has to be that same story, but do not let it be the same one they heard last time. So I know I've joined into a world with all of you lovely people that really expects me to start writing things down.
We don't expect it.
Oh, you may not, but I got a lot of people that, Brandon, you do that. Just now write it down. Get this on, DM's Guild. Like,
I do think that there is a way to make that happen. You just have to tell it to someone else.
Yeah, well, I have not lucked out enough to have anyone that will even attempt to write down my random gibberish.
Sitting there, the court reporter in the corner.
I need a stenographer.
You need a stenographer. You look at it later, and it's all shorthand.
I'm working to build myself to put something on paper and then type it out.
Baby steps.
It has been an effort.
It's baby steps. Use OneNote.
I'm not familiar with, but I better be.
It's it changed how I started writing things down for games. I planned my entire 5e campaign in OneNote just because it lets you do, and that's an offline conversation, but I've recommended it to a few other GMs and they're like, "Huh, it changed my life. Oh my god." It's just,
I'm always game for a change of lifer.
There you go. You can just move everything around. Let me put it that way. Everything gets moved, and there's no severe learning curve like with programs like with Scrivener. I find Scrivener to be headache-inducing.
I've glanced at it and then run away bravely.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That was me. My experience with it. I was like, nope, I don't like this. There's too many options. You gave me too many buttons to click, and now I'm in some rabbit hole that I can't get out of.
That definitely does sound like my reservations for the sort of thing. Wonderful.
OneNote helps. It might be worth looking at.
I'll take a peek from far across the field.
Yeah. Yeah, and click at it with a 10-foot pole. That's what the 10-foot pole is actually for. Yeah.
My suspicions.
Oh my goodness gracious. I did want to ask,
please,
because I am unhealthily obsessed with things like vampires. What was is there anything about any vampire game that you can remember that really stuck out? Because I've only ever played once, and I want to play again really badly.
Oh, I'm gonna force you into a game someday.
No, you won't have to force me. I'll be right there.
So, I mean, I remember, believe it or not, I remember all the vampire campaigns we played.
Oh, nice.
It was this odd breed of, being brought into it by, experienced players. And the first campaign was one of those, like an IHOP, that 24-hour, coffee,
yep,
diner where, 18 cups in, and it's, we just gotta, as long as we don't see the sunrise, we can keep playing, So I think that really helped with the vampire feel.
Totally. Yep, the whole atmosphere, yep.
That you definitely did not want to see that sunrise when you're playing. And the other campaign that we played was at this little farmhouse out in the middle of absolute nowhere, like no neighbors within, acres upon acres of land, just like middle of nowhere. So that also added a nice creeping dark over you, because outside this little place it was the black of night. There wasn't a street light, there wasn't so I mean, atmosphere I think is the real takeaway from I don't know, we already discussed how much I really enjoyed the concept of that little just hidden behind the real world. Right. We're just gonna make you play. We're gonna figure out a time and we're gonna make you play a vampire game.
Velvet's in chat screaming about playing vampire, so
oh, of course. Like, even if I didn't know Velvet played vampire, I knew Velvet played vampire. No, that has to happen. There are now a good number of games that I will demand Velvet be a part of from this point forward in my life. Like, I'm sorry, totally. Velvet, you are roped in now.
Yep, you don't get a choice. Well, aren't they retooling, or they just did retool Werewolf?
I know they, not too long ago, they did a new edition of The Masquerade.
Right. I have that book. It's gorgeous.
Oh, the new one, I think fifth
edition? Yeah. Yep.
So I'm salty about one part of that.
Why is that?
And I will not drop it. I don't care. Anyone who will listen to me will have to hear about this. The Nosferatu are so pretty in this edition, and that is so wrong.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that.
Look at the pictures. They are gorgeous.
Okay. I'll have to go back and look.
The Nosferatu in that book look 10 times nicer than I do, and That is not fair.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
They are just supposed to be just grisly.
Yeah, a nice way to put it. Yeah.
As far as werewolf, I hope we're getting a new edition soon. It's been a while.
Oh, that would be cool.
White Wolf generally does focus more on their vampire, not being salty. Vampire more than their werewolf. I know we got a new video game coming out.
Did you play the little demo of that?
I didn't. Don't tell anyone.
It's good.
No, I didn't get a chance to.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Don't break my heart. Is it good?
No, I seriously, like, stylistically and everything, I was like, oh, okay, I like this. I see where they took influences from the Coteries of New York game, where you have the multiple spots on the map that you can go to, but it's clearly a werewolf story. It's clearly, yeah, it's very cool.
It's an interesting divergence between the vampire and the werewolf, because the werewolf is, raging, hopeless hippie, animalistic, and the vampire is not that feeling at all.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's so neat to have those two very conflicting concepts in one world.
Right. When we were in Colorado a few years ago, there was this like little hidden gem of a bookstore. They've got all the nice hardcovers and everything in the front, and then in the back is just all, I should have picked them up when I was out there, all just ancient used copies of old versions of TTRPGs. And they were not organized in any way, shape, or form. They were thrown into piles. Just covering every surface. It looked like the Mad Wizard's library. And I've never played Werewolf, but I've read through the book, and I found some of the original editions of the original books. I found Changeling out there. I was just like, what is this? Someone took their entire collection of World of Darkness stuff and just turned it in for sale. And I was like, holy shit.
I always question that. I always question that at when I find the used bookstore where this, it's like you come in one day and it's, all 37 volumes of, and what happened to this person? What
happened? Yeah. Oh no.
This obviously was a very important thing for them at some point, and where did it go?
Lovingly cared for and then just dropped off. Yeah. Abandoned. I'm like, no, don't do it. All right, so now we gotta play vampire.
I thought we were playing werewolf. Which one are we doing?
I don't care. Both.
Fair enough. I like that freedom.
Why not both?
I will let you pick.
Oh no.
Yes, too late.
Oh shit.
And I'll let you pick, and we will build a game, and we'll make it happen.
Okay. I have no basis for werewolf other than just what I've read.
I mean, hopeless, angry hippie, and I say that with absolute love because that is who I am. In the world of darkness, I am completely on the werewolf side. I'm that, it's all doomed, but still we fight. And, like that's, and hug the trees. Yeah. And like that's where I am.
See, I am completely just the entire town of Yellow Springs, Ohio. That's all that is.
Okay, well then you're in the right mindset.
Yeah, supposedly that's where a bunch of deadheaders just stopped.
I wish I could have been one of the deadheaders. That seems like such a fantastic existence.
I know, right? Yeah. It's an interesting little town. The whole town smells like weed, and that's where Dave Chappelle lives.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a strange little town.
That is clearly. I will I need to research this, at least for the game coming up.
It's an odd little spot. Well, cool. I mean, if you're feeling good and...
I think I have rambled, well, it's obviously not true. I could ramble for many hours, but I have rambled as much as people will put up with.
Oh, no. Come on. Velvet's still here.
Well.
Velvet says they're a K-Knight. I believe that.
Definitely.
I believe that. Yeah. In a World of Darkness game, Ursula is who she is, but a vampire.
Yeah, I honestly feel with
Correct me
Velvet
if I'm
playing
wrong.
a vampire.
Oh my god. It's so
Like,
good.
I think this is one of the things where we're tap dancing on the actual fact that Velvet may just be a vampire.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is just the most coy of disguises ever.
And we all owe allegiance. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Yep. There you go. You have 2 new ones. Ursula would be a Toreador. Totally.
Entirely.
Totally. Velvet is a child of Malkov. Again, not shocked.
I don't think we have them anymore. The Ravenos. That was always my favorite.
Oh, see, I haven't gotten into enough of the lore.
They were kind of like I mean, there was a trickster through and through, but it was at least the way I played, it was very
that's fun.
Snatch, the pikey.
Okay.
Kind of the quick talk, the traveler, the roamer,
okay.
The making a chord, knows just enough to be respectable no matter where they are, but very little past that. Kind of.
Yep. Velvet says, "Week of Nightmares wiped Ravnos out."
I know it did, but I can still miss them.
You can play a retcon game. It's fine.
Change it up. I'm the storyteller. The Ravnos are superior and they're great and they're everywhere.
Oh shoot. Well, with that, now everyone go read the vampire book.
Yes, apparently.
Apparently this is going to happen at some point. So, thank you, Bran, for joining me. This was so fun.
Thank you so much for letting me ramble for so very long.
No, not at all. That's the problem. If I don't stop now, we're just gonna keep going.
Does this look like a face of a man who has better things to do?
Oh shoot. Well,
but thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to real quick. We get to that point in the night that Halli absolutely despises yet all of us.
Oh motherfucker.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh, the long shower of praise.
Great.
Of how much you've done. How you're so fantastic.
Oh my god.
I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short and sweet. Thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, happy to. It's there's something very rewarding about building a community and letting other people add and contribute and let them take it out of my hands.
I think that's really the thing you appreciate the most about
me not doing everything. Yes. Watching me have a slow breakdown in real time. So this is why I failed as a manager, because I can't. I can do it, but it's bad for me. My cat just came in, mooped at me, and ran off. But yes, I'm happy to do these types of things. And honestly, any chance to get to nerd out a little bit is just gravy for me.
Always good in my book.
All right, everyone. So we're quiet this week for a little bit. We have EE, though, back. Or am I wrong?
You are correct.
Okay. Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay. Double checking just because I don't know what day it is. Well,
maybe I should double check on this. Velvet, can we get a
calendar check? So I would encourage everyone to go check out Bran's awesome candles. They are amazing. That's actually how I met Bran a couple of years ago. Was through the candles.
That was my plan. You win one little contest, but you don't realize that's how I sink the hooks in there. Now you have to put up with me for the next. Well, we won't admit how long you'll have to put up with.
Oh, goodness gracious! Well, Highly encourage you all to go check out his candles. He is always doing stuff with us. He is our Pathfinder GM, so definitely check out Emerald Endings. All of those games so far, up to the current one, are on Twitch and YouTube. And you're on Twitch, so look, all you have to do is go to our collections, click on the Pathfinder button somewhere on Twitch.
Has to be right there.
Somewhere. And then Nightbot has all of his links, but you can also go to his Twitter there that you see on the overlay, and I stole your link right off of your Twitter, so it was like the ultimate form of cheating, where it was just like yoink.
That sounds reasonable. Let's hope that's accurate, because
I copy and paste. I hope so. And yeah, so we'll have Emerald Endings. Worldbuilders is back on Friday night. I'm with B and Livy from the Frostwalkers podcast. Yeah, so we're going to be talking setting up a D&D game in a snowy, frosty world, and how you deal with atmosphere and terrain and all of those fun things as well.
That sounds much better than this rambling.
No, not at all. Yeah, and then we'll have Starfinder on Saturday. So we'll be back in just a few days, y'all. Stay safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Wild Ones.